Strips are one of the best features in Wix, and basically what they are is they are long bands that go from edge to edge that are always fitting the, well, not always, you can also, if you want to, just fit them to the page, but normally you would fit them to the screen. You can, if you want to, bring them in a bit, like so, if you play with their margins, but I am going to keep it at 0 for now. And they serve two purposes. One purpose is to actually organize your website, and this is especially very important when you are actually editing your website for the phone, when you are optimizing it for phone viewing. So they are organizational elements, and I'm going to show you how that works now. And then that's their primary purpose, and or rather that is one of their purposes, and the other purpose is that they are also very powerful design elements. So the way that you add one is like I just showed you. Now there are four kinds when you look at the classic ones. There's one for photographs, there's one for video, there's a white one and a black one, but basically it makes absolutely no difference because you can switch from one to the other just as you please. I'm going to leave them blank for now. And the way that you add another one, once you have the first one, is you just click on this plus here, and then you add your second strip, which comes below your first one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a number of them, one white, one black, and I'm going to do that so that you actually see what I mean by organization. And down here I have a bunch of stuff that I copy pasted from one of the other websites, so I'm going to move those up now, and I'm going to take them and put them inside those strips. And I'm just moving it very quickly now, and when you go inside the strip it'll turn blue and it'll say attached to strip. That is when you know that your element, it could be text, it could be a picture, it could be anything, is actually attached to the strip, and it will move with the strip, which is very important, as we will see in just a minute. I'm just going to center them, but what I am going to do now is I'm actually going to open the rulers so that we can actually add guides, so that while we are doing this we have some kind of order, some kind of design order. So I just put a guide so that, and this I just align to the center here. Now I'm just going to take this one here, which is a subhead. The first piece that I attached was actually a headline, and I'm just going to decrease this a bit, edit the text so that it's all becomes white so that we can actually see it. But again, I want to make this very clear. This is not a design tutorial, it is only a tutorial to show you how these things work, how strips work. That's the only purpose of this tutorial. It's not about designing stuff. Just going to narrow this down like that. So something that I may not have mentioned before, the way that you make text narrower or wider is you just pull along this little circle here. And now let's just put the final one, and again it's attached to the strip. I always need to pay attention to that. And let's just make the text white so that we can see what's going on. And then what we can do is we can just adjust the page height by dragging the footer. Now here you have this thing here called Zoom, Out and Reorder right here, and when you click on that you will zoom out of the website and you will see all your strips one by one. And if you want to change the location of something, then that's very easy to do. Or like let's say I want to change this here up to here. I want to switch the locations of these. All I need to do is click here and it'll go right up. Or let's say I want to put this up here. So now I have changed the entire structure of the text the way that it was, which is actually not correct in terms of the way that it reads, but I just did that to show you how it works. So I'm just going to bring these back to their locations. And the thing about when I was talking about switching to the phone is that the strips will actually make it very easy for you to organize your content when you are on your phone. Now you are seeing all of these little gray areas here. All you need to do is you need to delete those spaces, which weren't there on the web version, but they seem to be here on the let me see, is there another one? No, there isn't. So when you are editing your website for the web, for the phone, sorry, then the strips are going to be tremendously useful to you, because they will make it very easy for you to edit your content. Now let's come to the design side of strips. So I'm going to add another one, and now this time I'm going to add a photo strip here, and let's change the background to one of my images. Let's just go to site files, and let's go to food, why not, and let's just take this. It doesn't have anything to do with the content of this text, but I just picked it because it's a nice wide image. And now I'm going to add another one, and I don't have a video here. I'm going to change the strip background again and go to the site files. Wix has a very stupid habit of always taking you to their files, which nobody wants, and then I'm just going to put this one here. Now again, I can position this at the top if I want to, or the middle. I would actually need to crop this image, so one way that you can enhance your website is by adding huge big photographs that go from edge to edge inside the strips. Now, it doesn't however stop there, because what you can also do is you can animate your strips. Now, the nicest one of these is parallax, so I'm going to do that one. Now, for these animations to work, the strips have to be not exactly at the top of the site, but they have to be a little bit lower, so that you're actually scrolling, so that you can see the animation. But now, if I scroll down, what will happen is that the site will sort of go over the image. So all of this stuff will glide over the image. It will look like as if the image is staying where it is, and everything is gliding above that. Now this one here, I haven't done anything to, so let me do something to that one as well, and probably also a parallax actually. And with this one, let's change this one, and let's see, let's do a close-up, or let's do a close-up. And now let's go back up. So as I'm scrolling down, the image is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's an animation going on here, and as I'm scrolling down, I'm seeing the cat progressively get revealed as I'm scrolling above it. So that is how the animations work with the strips. It doesn't end there, however, because let me actually hold on. I need to grab the footer, and I'm having a hard time doing that right now. So yeah, okay. What happened is that my footer became so small that it disappeared. So I needed to move the strip a little bit and adjust the page height, and adjust the page height even a little bit more, because there's something that I want to show you here. Now, on the page, I have a gray background. I'm actually going to make that a little bit darker. So, like this maybe, or actually I'm going to add a color. So, this will be a good opportunity to show you how to do that. If I go here, then it gives me where that color is right now. I don't want it to be quite that dark. I want it, the gray rather, not the color. I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I just moved this little circle up a bit, and So I'm just going to say apply. So here's my new color, and then I'm also going to change the design, and I'm going to make the background in the middle here a little bit darker, lighter. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually reduce the opacity of these strips. Settings, so let me do this again, change strip background, and then I go to settings, and then I decrease the opacity, and what happens is that I'm beginning to see the background now. So I decrease it to 75%. Let me actually make this 50. Hold on. Okay. Same with this one here. But now here we have two in a row, and if I make these 50 as well, and then this dark one 50 as well, then what happens is that I am actually getting even more colors. So let's preview this. I'm getting more tones rather. So as you can see, when you play around with the opacity of the strips, then something quite nice happens. Now I'm going to delete this. So what I'm going to do now, I have a big space here. I'm just going to zoom out, and here, this big space, I'm just going to delete and then move this up. So now everything is together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a background image. So I actually know already what I'm going to add because I've tried it out before. I cheated a little bit. So I'm going to get this one here. And you will see that something very nice will happen now. We have this background which is divided by these rectangles, which also work very nicely with this cat image, incidentally. But then what I also did is I made the strips here a little bit less opaque. I made them 25%. And then these here I kept at 50%. So here it is much brighter, and we see the background image much more, and we see it less, and so it's brighter, and here we see it much more. So that is another thing that you can do with strips. You can also, and here obviously I need to move the page footer up like that, and then that would be another way of creating a background for a website where you are using strips, which are also organizational elements like we already discussed. So you can move them up, you can move them down, you can do like so. Let's move this one up now and exit mode, and let's see what happens. Let's give it another preview. So now it looks like that.